Miles. 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 Nudge, nudge. Nudge, nudge. Poke, poke, poke. Did you see yesterday's episode? Is this a callback to yesterday's episode of
what?
Of not being able to hear my co-hosts?
Oh, can you not hear me?
What?
No, he can't hear me right now. All right. This should be an interesting episode.
The question is can the chat hear you?
Yeah.
It's a question I can't ask if I couldn't hear you. Okay, this is not going well. Miles, there's one thing I learned in graphic design school, and that's that nothing attracts a crowd like a graph.
I like a good graph.
Yeah, good graph. So hopefully everyone, you know what? Everybody give me 20 minutes so I can change the thumbnail to something a little bit more interesting. We need to get more people.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
It's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it shows that PSVR GAMESCAST Live was when it was low. And then
that explains
it got out of the way, and then it did really well. Yeah.
So this is actually a graph of my bank account. Anyway, dude, the number of things we have to talk about today is massive. So
I know it's like we've got at least 2 things to talk about. So it's
at least huge. 2 things. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Then let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Somebody push the fucking button. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Wise Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what that means wherever you are in the world.
11 p.m. UK time. King's time. King's time as we call it over here.
But let me tell you, Miles.
Royal time.
Please do not ask me what time it is in your region. That's what Google is for. You know, if you say what time is GamesCast Live, and I say 6 p.m. Eastern, and you say what time is that in China, I'm going to have to ask Google the same way that you would have to ask Google. So feel free to ask Google. Yeah. Old Dar says,
well, just basically, here. If you're watching live, it's live this time, right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're actually on
schedule. And if you're watching on replay, and you're watching on replay like the same time every week, we're going to be about, not live, but we'll be about this time. We'll be here for you every week. That's the important thing, right?
But we also care about your oral pleasure, and that's why our good friend Rypop puts us up on podcast services of your choice. My name's Brian Paul from the channel right here without Parole. And over here to my left, you're right, it's Miles Dyer from youtube.com//hack/Miles. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's smooth jazz.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Game Cats. Ho, ho, ho. Are we feeling a bit Christmassy?
Would you just fucking call me?
I said ho, ho, ho. Isn't that what Santa says, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
does call
getting all Christmassy. Too. My parents years ago used to get so depressed visiting me at Christmas time because I never had any decorations up. And so my mum bought me this little tree. And like, that is it. This, and then whatever this is me doing Christmas decorations.
Oh my God.
And my good friend Hugh, he bought me this last year, and it's too heavy for the tree, but it's a little lame from Fortnite. But it's
it's the it's the what's it called, the piñata that you beat the crap out of and get your treats. Yeah,
exactly. But it's too heavy for the tree, so I just have to kind of hang it there. But
wow,
yeah. Have you started putting up your decorations, Brian?
Yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait to see them. Oh, that's them behind you out the window. I see all the little light twinkling away. That's beautiful.
Yeah, there's got to be a neighbor out there with Christmas lights in their window. We're living vicariously through them. Miles, it's so weird that I didn't even notice your Christmas lights because my entire life feels like one of my very old friends is in the chat, so he can vouch for this. I'm just constantly the type of people I hang out with, like we've never quite moved out of the whole like dorm room aesthetic, right? So like once lights go up, they're just fucking there forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's just part of the decor now. It's not like Christmas decorations. It's just, oh, that's what that apartment looks like. And so I didn't even notice your lights because I'm just so used to just shit like that being up all the time at friends' places. So.
Someone in the chat was asking, do I even play Fortnite? I mean, not so much anymore, but I do. It does in the game have my spirit animal, which I've got here, which is so horrific. Which is here we
go, full screen.
The little Durburger.
Nice.
Mr. Durburger with Beef Boss, here he is. Is it going to focus?
Who doesn't play Fortnite? Oh my God, this. If you've got epilepsy, or if you didn't have epilepsy, you've got it now. There you go. Holy crap, that's some good focus.
Yeah.
Very festive focus. No, dude, playing Fortnite is it, man. Fortnite's everything. Like, you can play
OG Fortnite now. Go back to the beginning. They brought the original Fortnite out, so you can play how it was in the start.
Wait, isn't this? I thought they were on season 2. Didn't they? We've already.
They are. So they're doing it, but as an extra mode now. They've brought like the original island and like all the weapons that you used to have. So like classic Fortnite.
When did Tilted Towers show up? Because Rypop won't play unless Tilted Towers is there.
I don't think. Actually, Tilted Towers was on the first map, but like I assume the OG Fortnite is literally how it looked at the very beginning. Okay. To be honest, I'm now speaking out of my my know-how, so I should probably stop.
I was gonna say
talking.
Okay, you know how. Miles, we got a lot of shit to talk about. That's not Fortnite related. We just lost like half of our viewers, which is fine. If you can't appreciate
when Fortnite VR comes out, we'll be back. Everyone will be back. Everyone will be playing it.
People discover how great Fortnite has always been.
Yes.
Yeah. Miles, plenty of news stories to talk about today. In fact, I'm kind of overwhelmed, in fact, because there's so much news to talk about that I was like, dude, I'm just going to save most of this for PSVR this week, right? Which means I'm going to be editing until like 4 a.m. if it even comes out tonight, because it's legit one of the biggest episodes of PSVR this week I've ever worked on. It's just news story after news story after news story. I chopped out some stuff that people are going to be like, I think I chopped out like the Wanderer release. I think they said Q1 2025, and I was like, that's not important enough. We all assumed it was Q1. I can't spend time editing a news story about shit that we all know about already. So when Wanderer gets chopped out of an episode of PSVR this week, it's a good fucking episode of PSVR this week.
This week. Yeah.
This week. Smack. Smack. Yeah. So despite the fact that we have all these news stories to talk about, I want to take some time and check out the viewer takeover channel on our Discord, which is another reason you should come join our Discord. Guys, click the link in the description below. Come join our Discord. Just like Super Nintendo Chalmers did, left a viewer takeover question, said, any thoughts on how my first Gran Turismo compares with Gran Turismo 7? It's sacrilege to say, but I actually haven't bought GT7 yet. Racing isn't my favorite. And there are so many other PSVR2 games I've purchased and have yet to play. Is this a watered-down version GT7 for kids, a demo to get people addicted, or is it a separate experience for GT7 that's worth playing? I need an excuse to buy GT7 for Christmas this year. I hope I'll enjoy it. Miles, so I haven't gotten into my first Gran Turismo because I've already got GT7.
Right.
But the store description and everybody I've talked to has made it very clear that this is sort of like the beginning of the game. It puts you through your paces a little bit, like forcing you to get a couple licenses, and really kind of it's not like some dummy down kids version of the game. It really is like a big fat glorified demo. So I do think it's like to let you experience how great it is, and then get you hooked, right? Because Gran Turismo isn't a game that you're going to play for 5 hours and never play again. It's the kind of game that you're going to play for 5 hours and then come back the next day and play for another hour and come back the next day and play for another hour. And you're going to do that for the next 10 months of your life, maybe longer. Every single time there's an update, it's like there's this huge desire to jump back in. But just doing the daily challenges on top of that to unlock new cars and get some money, you never have to spend any actual money in game. So I do think that this is a brilliant move, and the fact that it supports PSVR2, even better.
Totally agree. I think the fact it has PSVR2 support is awesome, because as Super Nintendo Chalmers said, hasn't bought GT7. There's a lot of people out there that don't because it's a full-fledged game.
Yeah.
And it, like a lot of these games, they're big investments. And you don't want to put a big investment in something that you feel it's not really my genre. But what we find as VR players is when we get into these different games of different genres we don't normally like and experience it in VR, we have this level of appreciation we probably wouldn't have with the flat game. And so the fact that there's a free game out there, or demo, whatever you want to call it, that gets to put you in the seat of these vehicles and feel the physics and everything they've accomplished with GT7 in VR, I think it's amazing because I've always said, and I know that you agree with this, which is GT7 is something that all VR players should, or everyone, all gamers should experience, because you will never, you can look at the video footage and see how cool it looks, but when you're actually in that car, every time it goes from the flat screen to that VR thing, it blows my mind every single time. So I'm excited that people just get to see it, because GT7 is a system seller of a game.
100%.
Yeah, and I'm just glad that non-racing enthusiasts will get to at least just try it out without making a hole in their pocket.
Yeah, Rody in the chat brings up an excellent point. You mentioned how it kicks into VR, but if you're not familiar with Gran Turismo 7, he says when you start the tutorial in the demo, you are not driving the car, so it's not in VR. Be patient. Once they give you control, the VR kicks in. So no one get in there and think that, it doesn't support VR. Just give it a little bit of time. Damian Master says, I've played No Man's Sky more than Gran Turismo 7. I mean, that's also like these tend to be the two games that people go back to over and over and over again. No Man's Sky is a system seller too. So that maybe they need to make my first No Man's Sky demo as well. And like hold you, and I'm joking, but I'm not really, right? Because that's another game that like you really need somebody to hold your hand and go, hey, is this your first time in outer space on a planet by yourself with a broken down spaceship? Because we're gonna have to help you through this a little bit. And the game does, like No Man's Sky proper does say, okay, now go do this, now go do this, now go do this, but it's a little overwhelming, right? So it's like maybe you could dumb it down a little bit more for people like me who like just really need, just take me through it, man. Take me through it.
My first No Man's Sky would be awesome if it was like a planet with like a moon base or something. So like everyone just hangs out there and you just sort of, and then there's like some kind of shield. You can't leave that system. Mm-hmm. And to do it, you have to get the full game. And that'd be awesome. Just like a hangout.
Dog of Hades says My Little Sky. It's a little too close to My Little Pony. Yeah.
My Little Sky.
Some people out there being like real insecure about themselves booting up My Little Sky.
My Little Phasmo. I like that.
Bro, talk about a game that like needs somebody to hold you by the hand, like Phasmophobia, right? You need like your first ghost hunt in My Little Phasmophobia needs to be hunting like Casper. So like even when you see him, he's like, "Hi, how you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, thank God God, you're not scary."
Or it's just someone holding a cardboard cutout of a ghost.
Like Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion crossed with Phasmo. I like it, man. I like it. That's so good. But yeah, dude, like
listen, episode on what we need my first X.
I mean, I think we're doing that.
Yeah.
So we can continue if anybody else has any suggestions.
I can't wait to read the comments after the show of everyone's suggestions.
Right. But yeah, guys. I mean, listen, if you haven't bought Gran Turismo 7 yet because you're like, oh, I don't like sim racers, or you haven't bought it because you're like, I don't think it's my kind of thing, or I don't have a racing rig, or whatever the reason is that you haven't bought it. Just fucking suck it up and download the demo or download my first. It's free. It's free to play, right? So go check it out. It's one of the coolest, I think, one of the greatest games you can play in VR. It's super realistic. It feels great to play. If you happen to have a racing rig, it's fucking incredible. So Mike Anderson in the chat says, into My Little Radius. That's what we're talking about. That game needs a My Little version.
Random Toxie said, My First Village.
Love it. I love it.
That'd be definitely a miss-sell. Some kid going, "Oh, My First Village." Ah! Just like how it sounded. But
Prozac 380 with the $5 tip says, I let my buddy play Gran Turismo 7 VR with his wheel. So he bought a headset on Black Friday. Guess we still have to do Sony's job for them to convince people to buy these. Yeah, I mean, what do you think I've been doing for the last fucking 9 years, dude? Like that's... But I have been an unemployed, kind of unemployed, but definitely an unpaid employee of Sony, I feel like, for the last fucking 9 years. Macho, the real estate procrastinating game cat with a $2 tip says PoE2 is live and it's amazing. You have half my attention. What's PoE2? Why can't I think of? Somebody Google this shit for me because I don't fucking know.
What is PoE2? I'm gonna kick myself.
Yeah, I am too. I'm absolutely gonna kick myself. I'm gonna Google it. We're gonna find out. Ready?
Half of Exile 2, is it? No.
I mean, that's what Google says. So
yeah, that's
yep.
Yeah.
December, and it came out today. So yes. So thank you, Macho.
It's a massive coincidence. He meant something else. No.
You PC master race piece of no. I love you, Macho, but no one fucking cares about that here. I'm kidding. There's got to be somebody that cares. Stike cares. Looper cares. Macho cares. That's it. Oh, Kill Artist cares. Drew cares. Okay, listen. Everybody cares but me. Sorry. Not goddamn PC games. Excellent. Here, I'm gonna heart your comment because I don't want anybody getting offended. I gotta sneeze, Miles.
Bless you.
Thank you. All right, let's get on with this. We got another viewer takeover question from Hippie Pickle, longtime cat in the chat. He's got hashtag viewer takeover. Hey, you crazy cats. So with the hand tracking seemingly working already on the current SDK, how long before we could see the first compatible games? Could Masters of Light be the first game since it was all about hand tracking on the Quest version?
Man.
Also, could Maestro get ported, or do we know if there's any exclusivity on Quest? Miles, did you obviously saw this news? We talked about it on yesterday's show, but you saw the news that PSVR2 will have. I don't know if the SDKs have to be updated or what's happening, but hand tracking coming to PSVR2. How much do you care? You work with so many Quest developers because of your job at Impact, so you've definitely done a lot of hand tracking stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's really impressive. I mean, one of the most impressive examples of hand tracking I find is we have a weekly meeting on a Friday, which is Horizon Workrooms. It's like beta, but it's where you basically are in an office space together. So you're as your MetaQuest avatars, and we will have a meeting with everyone around the world in this space. And you can do hand tracking or with the controllers. But because you're sitting at your desk, you can have your screen from your actual computer in the headset. And they have a mode which is called I can't actually what it's like. They have a pass-through area because obviously when you see your screen in front of you, but you can't see your keyboard. Pass-through means you're in the VR world, but there's a little sort of square where your keyboard is. And when you've got hand tracking on, you literally can see your real hand. And when you take it out the pass-through, you can see your hand turning from your real hand to the cartoony one. And like, it really shows you how good the hand tracking is between those two things. I really like the hand tracking. There's some games I've played with it that have been awesome. Masters of Light, they must be, not because of them, but they must be kind of kicking themselves that, you know, this was all organised for PSVR2 and now this kind of announcement is because I even though that we've worked with them at Impact, I've not directly worked with them. But my guess could be...
I talked to them today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Because they would have engineered their game to fit for PSVR2, which is we now need to make it for controllers because they don't have hand tracking, so...
Right. Well, listen, please do not put words in the developer's mouth. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everybody who's about to hear what I'm going to say. So please don't put any words in the developer's mouth. But everyone over there at Coven, they were also surprised when they found out that hand tracking was going to be supported on PSVR2. And yeah, as you said, here's their game.
Because it's not an official announcement from Sony yet either, is it? It's just it got shown at a event.
Right. It wasn't like in the PlayStation blog or like, you know, there wasn't some kind of like PlayStation VR2 spotlight and they revealed it.
Exactly.
No, it was, it's just being
just like when they promote Gran Turismo 7 coming to PSVR2, you know, they don't go out there with anything official. They'll just put it in some industry event for people to work out.
They just let some drunk on a stage say it in like a sentence or two. That's how they announce shit. But yeah, so listen, they didn't know it was coming. They didn't know hand tracking was coming, and so they basically made the PSVR2 version of Masters of Light all about to use controls, the controllers, the Sense controllers. But now that they know it's coming, it's like they're like basically after a launch, it's like going to be top priority to get hand tracking
Yeah.
back into their game, and they're very excited to do it. They also seem very excited about the PSVR2 version. So I'm so curious about Masters of Light, man, because like I think based on the trailer, it isn't something I'd be that interested in playing. But it sounds like it's got some pretty good reviews. Sounds like it's really fun to play. And I talked shit a little bit about hand tracking yesterday and said I don't care about it. Like I have no interest in playing games that use hand tracking, but I guess I'm going to find out because it looks like Masters of Light will get hand tracking eventually.
I really like hand tracking, but there's a time and place for it because on the flip side, like look, Trombone Champ Unflattened, I'm just bringing up because it's our game and like obviously it's on MetaQuest, it's on all platforms. For me, there's no doubt the superior version is on PSVR2. The haptics and the adaptive triggers on the PSVR2 version, and like it just really makes you appreciate because I've seen the love and care that's gone into Trombone Champ Unflattened from the devs on all the platforms. So it's like, no, it's really great on MetaQuest, but the comparison between the controllers and that and what I'm feeling on PSVR2 controllers, like obviously you're not getting the haptics when you're using hand tracking. It is just your hands. There was a game that came out on Thursday, yesterday, called Drakier on MetaQuest. I haven't played a lot of it, but it's a game where you cast magic spells with hand movements. So like you can do this with your hands to fire stuff out, or to use your special, you do all this like hand movement and like shoot beams out of your hands and stuff. And I was like, this is hand tracking done well. It's like that power fantasy of you're in battle and you're firing off with stuff. So yeah, there is some really cool stuff. So the only question I've got about hand tracking for PSVR 2, and I kind of feel like it's maybe a stupid question because my question is, MetaQuest was built with hand tracking in mind, whereas PSVR 2 wasn't. And so a part of me thinks the cameras on the headset on the PSVR 2, do they have the same field of view as a MetaQuest 3 headset? Because controllers, they have sensors in them. So that can kind of mean when your hands are behind your back, we think of the classic Iron Man on PSVR that, when you wanted to put your hands behind you to glide forward, as soon as the Move controllers were out of sight of the camera, it wouldn't track. Whereas we know that if Iron Man came to PSVR 2, you would be able to, because it's good with all the tracking. I'm just curious to know what the capabilities are, because you can have hand tracking, but you need to make sure that the tracking is not just when your hands are exactly in front of you. It's got to have the freedom. And so, I'm just really curious to see what they do there.
Yeah, definitely a lot of questions, and I guess we won't really know until we try it out. But it seems like it's coming soon. Julian Fricker with the £2 says, "Did you see Alien Rogue Did you see Alien Rogue Unreal Engine profile video?" I just Googled those exact words and I found one, but for whatever reason, my YouTube video downloaders are not working currently. Shocker. And nothing ever fucking works the way it's supposed to. But hold on, I think we can go watch it live here. It's like 4 minutes, man, but I'm so down to check this out. Let me see here. Here, I'll throw the link right in here for you, Miles.
Thank you very much.
And let's see if we can bring this sucker up here. Here we go. Let's see, interact. Boom. How's that looking? Is that all right? It's not horrible. Turn it up a little bit. Oop. So this is from the Unreal. Hold on a second. We don't have volume on you guys here. All right, I'm just going to turn the volume down, kind of just watch this as we talk about it. Because I've got a narrator in my ear right now.
Oh man, I'm so hyped for this game.
Yeah, man, that's the interesting thing about it, is that, like, I think we were all very, very cautiously optimistic about this one for quite a while, and now that it's almost here, it's like I've thrown caution to the wind. I have no more caution, Miles. I just cannot wait to dive in and play this game. Very excited about it.
And worst case scenario, it's a terrible game. I'm still going to have so much pleasure just being in that world for a moment and just experiencing it in VR because it clearly looks gorgeous and
yeah,
man, yeah.
All right, yeah. So listen, this is a 4-minute video. I'm gonna have to kind of like watch through this with the volume and dissect it and really take a look at this. Obviously, this is not all Alien Rogue Incursion footage, but this is going to be really interesting to see what they have to reveal here. We've seen some incredible lighting in Unreal 5, and the fact that they've got eye tracking working in Unreal 5, so we got DFR working well.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Behemoth use Unreal 5? I want to say it did, but I don't know why I'm thinking that. And Behemoth looked beautiful. So cool. Hey, thank you.
Yeah. Skydance's Behemoth is the Unreal 5 powered adventure.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful looking game. So definitely have some faith here. Yeah, shout out to Julian Fricker for pointing this out. Definitely gonna take a closer look at this after the show. Thank you for this. If you guys don't know, like this whole channel, like I could not do this on my own. Like the whole community over on Discord is like constantly posting things in the news channel, right? I mean, we've got so many. It feels like boots on the ground. So many eyes, like keeping an eye out on the entire PSVR2 landscape. If everyone's posting stuff in the news channel, there is no way we'd know half of what we know if it wasn't for the awesome community helping out. So, guys, just another reason to join Discord, because you're gonna see PSVR2 news there before anywhere else. Dude, I get constant messages from people on Twitter and even on Discord, people who like aren't like hanging out and stuff, saying, "Hey, have you seen this news?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like 3 hours ago, somebody posted it in Discord." Right. So if you're the kind of person like me that wants to stay on top of this as much as possible, like our news channel it's not curated by me. It's curated by our entire community. And it's like a team effort to make sure that everybody's on top of shit all the time. So thank you guys for all the help. It's amazing. Professor Lilith with the $5 tip says, "Hey gamers, the Sunday multiplayer this week will be Pavlov. What mode do you want?" Tanks, nice. Tanks. I think, yeah. Pavlov.
I've not played Pavlov in months. One of my favorite modes, it's only if you got a big enough group, and if you're playing with friends especially, it's the one where one of you's the alien and the rest of you are like, soldiers. And then
is it called Predator, or is that too on the nose?
I mean, it acts everything like a predator. I don't know what it is. There's two modes of it. There's one where they've just got to kill the other team, but there's one that when it kills you, you become one. So eventually it's just one of you, and you've got to survive the time limit with your team just constantly killing them. And it's so good. It's so much fun because it's genuinely terrifying. And all the levels have their own like horror remix where there's like blood trailing across the floor and stuff like that. But nice. Yeah, I might join you on Sunday for that.
Yeah, I would. I always want to join the Sunday multiplayer, and I'm just never fucking around for it. But guys, yeah, if you want to play with a great group of people, it's not like Pavlov. If there's any shortage of people to play Pavlov with online, because it's crossplay and it's a ton of people playing it on PC. But our community is amazing. If you want to play with people who aren't jerks and just love to have a good time, then this is where it's at. Every 2 p.m. Eastern. Every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, Professor Lilith takes care of all of this, and we vote on what game to play every week. It's not even up to Professor Lilith. It went up for a vote this week, and I'm actually a little surprised Pavlov won because there was some good competition for it. 2 p.m. Eastern, everybody come play. We got Game Cat Rambo Gizmo. That's a great name. With the $5 tip says, "Hey, Brian and Miles, do you think that Sony is bringing hand tracking because you can't buy PSVR2 controllers on their own?" That is a strange ass workaround. They're like, we're gonna
sell you hands, spare hands, fleshy hands.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah,
it's gonna be way cheaper than pair of Sense controllers.
They're like, you can swap your hands for a spare pair of dual Sense controllers if you want.
I honestly think they're doing it because they are just seeing games that are on Quest that they're like, oh, we wish we could have these over here, and they just want to make it easier. I
Yeah.
think that's literally the extent of it. They're like, oh, we just want to add more functionality to it.
I think we're going to have mixed reality. I think we're going to have mixed reality at some point.
Oh god. I mean,
the question I have is whether the black and white pass through is that a hardware or is that a software thing? Like, I assume the camera would be able to do color, right?
That's 100% hardware. There is no way that they would be displaying a black and white image if it was capable of providing a color image.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which means that like PSVR3, or if they do like some kind of like, revamp or something in another couple of years or something like that, like then we could certainly see color pass through. Just stuff I just don't care about, man. I just don't. And I apologize. If there's people out there who love it, who love
I love mixed reality.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of it. Again, there are a lot of bad examples. The creators of Hubris have just done a mixed reality game. Absolutely stunning. I'm trying to remember what the game was called. It was called... Oh, man. Cyborn, what did they do? It was called Wall Town Wonders. That was it.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning game.
Nice. I mean, Cyborn's great. So, I mean, I listen, I'd be interested in checking it all out. Like this is the... I have always held certain beliefs, and throughout time, those beliefs have changed. Don't forget, like when Resident Evil 7 first came out, and people were like, "Oh, it's not real VR because you can't use the move controllers. You don't have two hands in the game." I was like, "Fuck you! I don't care. I just want to sit on my couch and be in the world and play with a DualShock." Like I just wanted to be in the game, and my feelings on that changed over time. Like I was like, "Oh, you know what? I love having two hands in the game." It's like shit changes, man. Like the more you're exposed to something, the more you end up liking something. And so I kind of see mixed reality from afar more than anything else. I don't use my Quest for MR stuff. And I certainly don't use my Quest for hand tracked stuff. So, I'm sure that my feelings on some of this will change over time the more I'm exposed to it. So we'll see what happens.
And look, when VR started, a lot of it was experiences, not full-fledged games. And look, I know you're not saying this, and I know most people aren't saying this. When I say that I love like hand tracking stuff when it's done well and mixed reality, I love VR with the the adaptive triggers and that. Like that is the thing I love most. But there are some really cool stuff. There's a game that's just come out where you can turn your living room into a spaceship. So you literally have like you can fly it and take off, and you're looking out the window of your living room, and you can see yourself going through the place. Like it's just there's some really cool stuff going on. But yeah,
we get Stike. The Signosis Game Cat, which is such a great name too. There's so many good names in the chat today. Signosis. Gotta love Signosis. 20 euros says just helping out with some money for coffee and headache medicine. Oh, that's right. I did tell people that I had a headache today. I was like, how did you know? That's pretty crazy. You should be the psychic Game Cat. Yeah, thanks. It's been a rough day, man. It's just like one of those days I woke up when I had a headache, and all day long I've been trying to get rid of the headache. You can only take so much ibuprofen, and then you're like, oh, I shouldn't probably take any more because I don't want a hole in my stomach or whatever the fuck happens. And I drank a lot of coffee. I was hoping to get rid of it, but my left eye is just pulsating, dude. It's like I would actually remove my left eye if that was a possibility. But thank you, Steak. I appreciate it. Looper the Underground Game Cat with the €2 says, please give away my physical copy of Hubris, Miles.
Yes, I've actually got it here. Looper was very kind. This was done all the way to Gamescom, and I do apologise. I've not handed this out soon. The honest answer is, when I mentioned this to Brian, saying I want to give it to show, he was like, post and packaging, man, it's going to be a killer. And I've been like, pretty broke. So, do you know what? Let's give this away today. It'll be a nice festive thing to do.
Dude, give it away to somebody in the UK. Our UK audience does not get enough love, and so give it away to somebody in the UK.
I want it. I've always wanted a physical one. Thank you. I won it. The competition was if your name is Miles Dyer, you win. No, let's say I don't mind where people are. We'll sort this out. How are we going to give it away though, Brian?
Just pass it through the screen. Whoever takes it first.
Do you know what?
What?
I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100. First one to type it throughout the show. We'll keep carrying on, but when I see the number...
Bro, you know what's going to happen. This one person is going to type 1 and then hit enter, then type 2 and then hit enter, and
All
type
right,
3 and hit
so
enter.
be it.
All right, hold on a second.
Okay.
1. Is it 1? No, is it 2?
Brian's doing
2.
it. Brian, you've won it. Oh, it was 1. It was 1. No,
Is it 3? Is it 3?
no.
All right, excellent.
Oh my god,
dude, you just reminded me. Oh, I'm so bad at this, dude.
you're gonna get the most comments, live chat comments ever on a live stream now. Look at this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this. Ruthless Metal is the winner.
Whoa!
Well done,
Good job,
Ruthless Metal. Where are you from? If you're from Australia, you're disqualified. But the Ruthless Metal. What country are you from? DM me. At me on Ask Miles on the Without Parole thing, and we'll sort it out.
It's gonna be the most expensive.
34. 34 was the number.
Nice. Congrats.
Everyone's still going, oh my god.
Dude,
Jesus.
Dude, when you said you hadn't given away that copy of Hubris and you've been meaning to for a while, it totally just reminded me that, like, dude, I'm the worst at this. Terrible at planning, but serial killer. Here, I'm gonna go full screen on myself here for a second because I really want.
Just to say to Ruthless, I'm gonna send you this. You're in Sweden, but I'm also I will give you a free shirt from my store, a Quest for Empathy shirt if you want one. I'll just give you a code and then you can get it from the store when it's all shipped out. There we go.
You good?
Yeah, it's good.
Everybody good?
That's it.
All right. Listen.
It's because he's from Sweden. He's done me a favor. He's pretty close.
I don't know geography. I went to school in America.
Cool.
We don't.
Sweden's
know where
pretty
things
close,
are.
man. It's pretty close.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Listen, I've been I should probably just. This is an overarching apology to like everybody in my life. If you have texted me or DM'd me or contacted me in any way, shape, or form over the last month, we're just gonna go with month, and I haven't gotten back to you, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means I am so fucking tired, and I haven't responded to anybody, I feel like, recently, and I feel bad because I care about all of you, and I've just let DMs are just piling up, man. Notifications on every single app are just like in the triple digits, and I don't. When it gets to that point, you don't even know what to do. And the worst part of that is we have awesome people in this community who are trying to help out, do charity work and everything else. And it's like, all I have to do is read some shit, and I don't do it because it's like one of the many DMs that I'm not paying attention to. So my apologies go to Serial Killer and everybody at the Movember Foundation because I am not staying on top of shit. All right. So let me read this.
Last thing just to say, just want to say a massive thank you for Looper once again for sending that. I don't want to take the credit. Like, Looper gave me that at the end. Came up to me at the end of Gamescom and goes, "Give this to someone who deserves it." So,
what's the Without Parole quote on the? This is my first box quote. What's my first?
Yeah. Look at this. Check this out.
What does it say? An epic sci-fi adventure that no VR gamer should miss out playing. I feel like that's a little over the top. I feel like maybe I've said 9 out of 10. I think it's an 8.5 out of 10, and I think that it's an epic sci-fi adventure that most VR gamers.
Well, that's not what it says here, Brian. It says an epic sci-fi adventure that no VR gamer should miss out playing.
I'm not perfect, dude. I'm not perfect. I'm editing my thoughts. I'm editing my prior thoughts on the fly as we go. Okay. Is that all right?
That's all right. It's fine.
Okay.
Speaking of quotes, Brian,
I was
quoted. I was quoted this week on a trailer.
This week
for Madison VR. I was
That's
on
like
the
your
trailer
game, dude. That is your game.
Even though I've not completed.
Yep.
I'm a fraud. But dude, I need to get back to it. Like, now I'm feeling a lot better and I'm getting back in the flow and I'm having a bit more free time. I am determined over the festive season to get a bit festive. And I just think festive VR, Madison VR, it goes hand in hand. So I will be getting back to that.
All right, you guys. My apologies to Serial Killer. My apologies to Movember Foundation. Here's the read. We've reached the end of the month. No, we have not reached the end of the month. We've reached the end of 2024, GameCats. And as far as the Movember Foundation goes, we've helped We've helped the goal to stop men dying too young. From mental health and suicide prevention to prostate and testicular cancer, the Movember Foundation is the only global charity focused on men's health. With humble beginnings of a few friends in 2003, they've grown to millions of supporters that raised money to fund over 1,250 research projects with long-term effort to reduce men's mortality rate by 25% in the next 5 years. As our part, the GameCats have collected over $750 towards the worldwide total. And a special reward for a few lucky donors, we would like to announce the winners of the giveaway. Hey, guys, listen up. You might have won. So thank you again to Fast Travel Games for donating keys to support the cause. The 3 winners of Into the Radius. Hold on a second. We can't have Madison playing while we're giving away Into the Radius. Here's Into the Radius. Here's the same footage I've been using for Into the Radius for like 7 months. The 3 winners of Into the Radius are Ben L. of the GameCat Army, Legendary Pro Wash, and Vargelsoft. Congratulations and thank you for helping make a difference in men's health. Serial Killer will be in touch with you via Discord, so make sure you join the GameCats using the link in the description. But it's not too late to help. Donations are still accepted for this year's fundraiser through December 11th. Another week to do that. I suck. Serial Killer is awesome. Thank you guys so very much for supporting the cause.
Serial Killer is awesome, and I actually remember the message I got from him, and I just can't believe we're in December already. So yeah, every year doing it, much love. This is why this community rocks. There's just so much good stuff going on.
Yep, absolutely. Where are we, man? Darth Vader, the GameCat with a $10 tip says, hello, my friends. If you have enough money to make your own PSVR2 game and of high production, what would it be? It has to be original IP and not an existing one. That is...
mine's easy.
What's that?
Sandwich Hands VR. Yeah.
What?
Sandwich Hands VR. Where you basically, you got sandwiches for hands, and you gotta find the pony in the park. But if I had the money, of course.
My Little Pony in the Park?
No. Can't be a popular IP, Brian. It's its own IP. It's
excellent point.
Sandwich Hands.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would just rip off BioShock.
Oh, fair.
Right? That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Listen, it's so great to have all these original games in VR. I never would have thought that I'm not a big fan of like time travel games, right? And so like when a game comes out of nowhere, like Wanderer, and because it's always
Sandwich Hands is all about time travel, so like it's not. I thought it was your kind of game, but now I definitely know it's not your kind of game.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But right, but you know why, Miles? You know why the time travel games are not my kind of game? It's because you always travel to a time period, and then meet like the most famous person of that time period. Like you're always meeting like Albert Einstein or something.
Sandwich
right?
Hands,
Sandwich Hands, right? And it's like, dude, how about like I can travel to a point in time and not meet the most famous person from that time. Like, trust me, I believe you that we're in a different time. Let's just fucking roll with that. Like, you don't have to like make a big deal about it and be like, oh, look at this. Like, oh, Ben Franklin flying a kite. What's he doing? And it's not even like just Ben Franklin like abusing his wife or something like he was probably doing. It's like the most famous thing that the most famous person is known for of that time, doing that thing at the exact time you went. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyway.
It's like when people say like who believe in reincarnation, they weren't a reincarnate of some kind of like a stick insect or a peasant. It was like, I was a king or an emperor in a former life. Yeah, sure you were. You were.
Right. God, can you imagine like 50 years from now, all these people are going to be reincarnated and be like, in your former life, you were a YouTuber. It's like, well, no shit. Everybody was a YouTuber 50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
What are we fucking doing right now, dude? There's no way.
No, I'm looking at the runner show and I'm seeing we're creeping towards it. We're almost at the starting line.
We haven't gotten to the first news story. Oh, dude, we're so cooked. All right.
No, we're good. We can race into this. Let's just race into the big story. Let's do it now before the top of the hour.
All right.
Let's do it. We got this.
I'm going to go full screen, and then I got to go put this news story up here, and then we can go to it. Just want to give a shout out to Harpy Eagle, who tagged me over on Twitter. Again, like I said, I can't do this without you guys. Thank you so much for pushing, for pushing news stories my way. This comes to us from Road to VR. PSVR2 Black Friday sale is still going strong after 20x spike in sales volume. That is insanity. Also, a good reminder, you guys, Miles, I don't think this is happening in every country, but over here, direct.playstation.com has the sale on PSVR2 headset until January 2nd. So you still have almost a month to pick the PSVR2 headset up.
You get some Christmas money, bit of Christmas Bunsen, you know,
good point.
You'll be, there we go. That's awesome, man. I'm so happy. I've been so hyped. If you just search PSVR2 hashtag on X, and you just see these posts of people going, "I finally got one," and I just can't help but always comment and just say like, "Welcome, you're gonna have an amazing time." Like I'm just super hyped because, you know, we play so much VR and we're still amazed by it. But you know, I think of how I felt when I first experienced VR, and there are people right now that have never experienced VR before. And their first experience is PSVR2. That is...
Right. I mean, I was so impressed when, like, Job Sim was one of the first games I ever checked out, right? And it's like a bunch of flat shaded polygons, right? It's not realistic worlds. So people jumping in now and like playing like Horizon Call of the Mountain as their first game. It was like, oh shit, dude. Like, it's pretty crazy. You know, like when I was growing up, like Atari 2600 was my first console that I ever played on, and then, you know, NES blew me away and Super NES blew me away, right? We've had all this time, but then you meet people later in life who are younger than you, and they like, oh yeah, PlayStation 3 was my first console, and you're like, what? Like, you don't even know know where that came from. And so yeah, people jumping into PSVR 2 have no idea some of the shit we struggled with. Anyway, we're very happy for anybody picking up a PSVR 2 headset. But let's check out this article from Road to VR. Who wrote this? Ben Lang. Oh, what's up, Ben Lang? It's from today.
What up, Ben?
Black Friday brought the best PSVR 2. He put the space in the wrong place. PSVR 2 sale we've seen yet, but Sony kept it going. You can still get the PSVR Space 2 Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle for just $350, a 42% discount over the usual price. Hold on, what's this update? This update is from today. Sony dropped its Black Friday PSVR 2 sale well ahead of the actual day, and now the deal's continued into Cyber Monday. The 350 blah 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 is the best price we've seen. Yep, the sale has led to a huge sales spike for the headset on Amazon US, pushing it up nearly 20-fold compared to the months prior. Jesus, look at this chart, dude. Look at this sales chart. It is like just, I mean, what is that? Like not even 1,000 sold in all of the months leading up to Black Friday.
Yeah.
Right? Because 5,000 is the first
sorry,
marker.
you mean just before? Yeah. It's actually the lowest point just before it.
Well,
it's
probably
like
because a bunch of people were like,
it's like
people held off.
It just got to a low point and like, press the button, the emergency button, like, do the deal, unleash it. But there's no doubt there was anticipation. People were anticipating some kind of deal, so that will always make it draw down.
Right. There was nobody November 1st going, I should buy a PSVR 2 this month, right? Or I should buy one now, but not wait until Black Friday for some reason. Like,
I'd love to see how this line goes all the way up until Jan 2nd. Yeah. If it sustains.
I mean, it does drop, right? It does drop at the very, very tail end there, but it only drops to, it drops from 24,000 or so to about 20,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, if we can sustain these numbers, it'll be great. And again, we've talked about this so much on the channel. It feels like everybody knows our thoughts on this by now, but it's common sense. Like, once this sale is over, I think Sony knows the price that they have to drop this thing to in order to keep selling them, right? Why wouldn't you want to keep selling them? If you're taking a little bit of a loss, take the fucking loss, man, and let's drive those numbers through the roof. Anyway, those are great numbers for PSVR2. Historically, Quest has been pushing around 10 times more sales volume on Amazon US during the Black Friday and Cyber Monday period. The amount of the discount, 42% off, the length of the sale, and the fact that the non-bundle of the headset is seemingly not available on Amazon US at the moment suggests there might be an ulterior strategy at play. This is interesting. I've not read this article, so I can't wait to see what they say. On the one hand, it's possible that Sony is dumping stock. This is probably not because it's discontinuing the headset, but because there could be a new model with minor changes as they've done before, or a new bundle on the way, or they're just preparing, here it is, for a permanent price cut. On the other hand, perhaps they're just happy with the performance of the sale and they want to keep it going. All right, let's continue the actual article here. The bundle includes the PSVR2 headset, controllers, and a digital copy of Horizon Call of the Mountain, a flagship title for the platform, which we scored an 8.5 out of 10 in our review. That's pretty good, man. I know like IGN didn't like it as much as these guys did, or as much as we liked it. The PSVR2 headset has dipped to $350 previously. This is the first time we've seen the Call of the Mountain bundle drop to this price. Curiously, the PSVR2 headset itself is also on sale for $350. This discount follows the release of Sony's PC VR adapter, which has became available in August for $60. That's about it. So lots of reasons why the sales are spiking so high. Obviously, first and foremost, because it's cheaper than it's ever been when you consider that the bundle is on sale for as cheap as the headset itself. And also the PC adapter is out. And so that means the use case for this thing is better than it's ever been previously. And that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much to add to that, really. Just I'm just really curious to see how it goes, and it's great that we have actually some figures. Curious to know how it's doing on the PlayStation Direct, because this is just Amazon US.
That's true.
So
I bought mine. I bought both of mine through PlayStation themselves, through direct.playstation.com. So my sales figures are not included in this. So we can alter this slightly and make it more accurate.
What do we think, Brian? Do we think, as I'm asking this, I'm like, this is probably another stupid question with an obvious answer. Do you think more was sold on Amazon or PlayStation Direct? Is it clearly Amazon?
I mean, listen, I buy my deodorant on Amazon, so like I use Amazon.
But when it comes
everything.
to like expensive electronics, where it's, and also PlayStation have always done it through, like PlayStation Direct has been the only way you can get it before. So they've kind of established it that's where people expect you have to go for PlayStation stuff. So I reckon, yeah, probably has sold more on Amazon, but I would think that PlayStation Direct probably is at least 15 to 20,000 when it's at its highest on here.
Yeah, I only bought mine from direct.playstation.com because that's where it went on sale first. I just happened to be awake, and I checked the couple sites before I went to bed, and it was on sale on PlayStation. So I just said, "Fuck it, just buy it. Fuck the Amazon points," because you get.
Was that the same Amazon this time?
Yeah. And so, but dude, I buy everything on Amazon. I must have Amazon packages showing up at my door every other day minimum. It might be, some days it's like 5-6 days a week. It's crazy. So like, I would guarantee that it's sold most on Amazon. This is probably a pretty good indicator of the sales spike.
Mm.
Yeah. What do you think, Miles? Just before we get off of this topic, I do think it's interesting that Ben Lang brought up the reasons why they're selling it this cheap, or why it's the bundle. Do you think he's on to something, and that maybe, I don't think, obviously we don't think that they're dumping stock, but do you think that there could be a new model coming of the headset, or a new bundle? Do you think either of those is probable?
I mean, the Horizon bundle wasn't actually a deal, was it? You weren't getting a huge discount, were you? Or was it like it was 20, like it wasn't like thrown in free, was it? It was just...
Oh, no, but it was...
People that were on the fence, I don't think were going to be persuaded by the Horizon bundle. Because I remember when it came out, I could have got the bundle, and I was like, nah, I'll just get the PSVR2 and then buy it later.
I think you saved like $10 or something. It was something stupid, right? Because like I think they actually overcharged for Horizon in order to make the bundle seem more appealing. Right. It seems like the strategy there.
Yeah, I agree. And so for me, I do think it is clearing out. I'm not sure the Horizon bundles have ever been like what percentage of people that are persuaded by PSVR2 post-launch have been persuaded because of Horizon Call of the Mountain? Like it's been there, it's done that. So that's kind of how I feel about it. So I think that's a big part of it.
Are there people in the chat who are just Phil Marshall? How far behind in the stream are you? He just wrote 45, and then he wrote 34, and then he wrote 7. He's gonna be so disappointed that he's this far behind in the stream.
He got 34 though. He got 34. Just
no consolation prize. Sorry, Phil.
No, unfortunately not.
Sorry, man. That makes me so happy.
I can't wait for more people to start guessing in another half an hour.
Dude, I think it'd be great to see the next time we see a bundle for PSVR2 that it's like something crazy, right? Like the Gran Turismo bundle or talk to me.
They're going to do a new bundle, Brian.
Yep.
What game do they do as a bundle?
I mean, there's so many good options, right?
There are, but what is the option?
Yeah. See, the problem is that I don't think enough people would find like Village or Resident Evil 4 Remake that appealing, or Gran Turismo, because
exactly
a lot of
those
people
niches have been paid for.
Right. But a lot of those people own those games already, right? And so when you look at a bundle, you want to see some, and plus like the prices have gone, all over the place on those. I think you can get RE4 Remake for like $20 or $30, like physical on Amazon, right? So like how do you even make that appealing? Do you remember? I don't even think this was in the States. I think this was like a UK thing or a European thing. But there was like this awesome holiday bundle they did one year with like, I don't remember what games it was, but it was like Everybody's Golf and Astrobot and Resident Evil 7. They just threw like codes for like a ton of games into the box. And so you got like 6 games for like, I don't know. It wasn't even that much more. They gave you
when I got my PSVR2, my PSVR, it was Resident Evil 7 with the collection PlayStation Worlds, VR Worlds.
Okay.
And I think there was one other game in there. And it was amazing. And that's exactly what the bundle needs. The bundle needs to basically say, you're going to have this headset and you're going to be ready to go with these collection of games. And this is the thing I always say, or it should come with PlayStation Premium, 1 year's worth. So people know. Because someone in the chat said, Synapse, great game. I don't think on its own it would work, but I definitely think it's one that should be a part of that bundle, the 5 game bundle or something like that.
There's some good suggestions in the chat. Null Underground says Metro. Truth Hurt says Metro.
Yeah.
Alex Into says Hitman World of Assassination. That would be great. Hotel Neptune says Astrobot. Listen, okay. I'm changing my answer, and I'm going to kind of go with Hotel Neptune here. I want my PSVR 1 games, Miles. I want them bad, right? Give me my Blood and Truth. Give me my Astrobot. Give me all my PSVR, Everybody's Golf VR. I want the PSVR 2 versions of those. Throw 6 keys in the box.
Right.
It's the PSVR 1 bundle for the PSVR 2. These are all the games that were the best for PSVR 1, and they're all now in glorious HD with sense control support and headset rumble. Done. It would be. There's no way to market that properly. It's like, hey, here's games from 6 years ago. Enjoy on your new headset. It's just what I want. It doesn't mean it's a good idea.
It's just a shame Chris Payne Hero isn't about anymore, because that would have been a pretty good one to slap on the box.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it covers all the genres: RPG, roguelite, action. I don't know what all the other words.
Jeff Cooper says Trombone Champ bundle. Love it.
Oh man. That would be good to be a part of the bundle.
It would be really good.
Oh man, Robinson the Journey. Don't say it. Don't say Robinson the Journey. Oh man.
Dude, give me Robinson with sense control support. That game was beautiful on the Pro. I can only imagine how great it would look on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. Be amazing. Right? But like I don't want to climb with my DualShock. I want to climb with my sense controllers. Let's make it happen. There's no way that anyone over at Crytek is going to make that happen. Are there people still at Crytek? Like, do they still exist? I have no idea. Anyway.
Sorry, Matthew was just asking in the chat. He's asked a couple of times about what was the mixed reality game I mentioned earlier, where you turn your room into a spaceship. It's called Starship Home.
Oh,
check it out.
Cool. I've had friends on mushrooms that thought that's what happened when they took mushrooms. Like they thought they were in a starship. Looked suspiciously like our college dorm room, but they thought they were in a starship.
Oh, Rhodey's right. Yeah, you should have a "you're gonna shit yourself" bundle. Madison, Propagation, Phasmo. Comes with some brown pants. Oh, be good.
Miles, we need to talk about Human Fall Flat because I put it in the thumbnail. It's also in the title of the video. So Human Fall Flat. How is it? It is good. Hold on, let me bring up some footage here. I tested it out before the show. Here's me stumbling around, doing the best that I can. It's very interesting, man. Like, if no one's been paying attention to this, I mean, obviously, Human Fall Flat was pretty popular game, flat screen. And so, if you haven't been paying attention to what the VR version entails, you're legit. You can see here, you're kind of puppeteering this Fall Guy type character, and use the analog stick to move him around, typical third-person stuff. But then your sense controllers are basically you're puppeteering his arms, lifting him up and down, moving him around, and it's wonky, man. Like, but I think it manages to bring the wonkiness of the flat screen version of this game, the very physicsy puzzle solving they're going for, into VR pretty properly. So I like the controls. I think it's silly. I don't think it's gonna be for everyone, but I don't think Human Fall Flat was for everyone. It's silly, but I really like it. I will say it doesn't look as good as I expected it to. I was like, this is a very simple looking game, but the resolution not as high as I think it maybe could be. There's definitely some jaggies everywhere. And if you're using smooth turning like I am, then be prepared because it swings around the main character as it should in a third person game. And I don't think most people will be prepared for that. Usually when you use smooth turning in a VR game, you're spinning in place, but this is like swinging a camera around this little dude, and that took a second to get used to. But also it's a little stuttery, meaning that like it's not like Call of the Mountain stuttery when you use smooth turning. You know what I mean? It's not like that, but it's like you're definitely going to see some frame drops when using smooth turning. But overall it's fine. It's a budget game. It's like $12.50 or $13 or something like that. This features all the levels from the original game plus a bunch of extra levels. And I haven't tried it out, but from the PlayStation Store description, it says you can play online with 3 other people. You can play 4 players getting through these puzzles together. And I think that's gonna be fucking fun and hilarious. So my first impression of this is really good. I'm actually looking forward to going back and playing more. It just kind of feels silly to play. Obviously, I've still got some learning to do here. I don't know like totally how to make my dude climb, but it screams Miles game. That's what this does. There are certain games in my life that I always go, Miles is gonna fucking love this. This is right up Miles' alley, and this is one of those games for sure. I just feel like if you stream this, especially with like some other people, you're gonna love it.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. The first time I saw on your footage of you panning the camera around and your camera's going off the edge, I thought you're gonna fall in. And like,
dude, that's how it feels when you're playing it.
Yeah,
like that's why I said it's gonna take some time to get used to, because like you still feel like you're present in the game, even though like you're controlling a character that's 10 feet in front of you. And so when I spin the camera off of the ledge, it takes a second, man, because you do feel like you're gonna fall. VR is funky like that.
That's cool. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's very, very simple.
It's basic, but I like the shadows, and hopefully it looks really good in the headset, as you say. But
yeah, I think it looks much better on the social screen than it looks in the headset. But this is also a game I'm not gonna play on the flat screen, right? So this is the only way I'm gonna play it. I say that, and then as I was playing through these early levels, I was like, wait a minute, I have absolutely played this game before. I am fairly certain that my dad and I, after my dad retired, he was suddenly playing a lot more video games, and he and I would go visit him every week, and we would play video games together. And every so often, I think this might have been a PlayStation Plus game at some point, or he bought it for my niece or nephew or something like that. And he was getting a kick out of it. And so he and I think, played through, the first hour or so of this together. So these levels were familiar to me.
They got a platinum trophy.
That's an excellent question, Miles.
Let's have a look.
PSN profiles. Human ball flat VR. What happened? What happened?
There it is. There it is.
You found it?
No, it's not. Oh.
No? What?
No, it's 19 bronze, no silver, and 1 gold.
Come on.
It's not a Miles game. It's not a
Miles game. It's suddenly not a Brian Paul game either.
Oh my goodness.
Fuck it. Well,
how could you do this?
Good while it lasted.
Yep. This is the perfect game for a platinum. Like, it genuinely would sell more if it had a platinum, because it looks like, oh, it's a fun game that you get a platinum, but now it's just a load of bronze. A load of bronze and 1 gold. Not even a silver. But I'm still going to do it.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. Listen, it's super cheap. I think, like I said, I think it's $13. Oh, man. Malkaya the Soul Reaping Game Cat says the normal game has a platinum. What the fuck? That makes it so much worse. That makes it so much worse. No excuse for this.
How are we going to make it distinguishable on PSVR2? What can we do to change the features? Well, you know how we got a platinum on the flat. Well, for this, we've taken it out. So, yeah.
Yep. The distinction is clear. Wonderful.
Unbelievable.
I'm
really sad now about this. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Other than that, it's a good time. But I'm definitely bummed that I have no desire to go back to it now. Miles, I put something in the run of show that...
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
There's nothing there.
Okay. Well, then you have to just fucking roll with the punches here. That's how we do it in improv group. I wanted to say, Miles, that like so many things were getting delayed and pushed out of December, and Hitman World of Assassination and who knows, Wander. I don't know. Lots of games get pushed into 2025. But what's funny is that a lot of games get pushed into December, and we weren't really aware of it. We are already 6 days into December, Miles, and we just played Behemoth, which we'll talk about in a second because Miles has not had a chance to share his impressions. And then Alien Rogue Incursion is coming in another week or two. However, we've got at least 4 more games coming this month on top of those 2.
This month. Yeah.
Right. So Exocars, which was supposed to be out in November, the devs are saying, hey, we've been struggling with Sony certification, but like it should be out any time, and we really are shooting to get it out in December. So Exocars could come out this month, which is awesome because I really want to use my racing rig for that. Cold VR, which the last time I was in touch with Perp, they were like, oh yeah, the Cold VR isn't coming until 2025 for PSVR2. Suddenly it's December. It's this month. Sometime this month.
Very cold. Very
craziness.
Cold December.
Masters of Light is coming this month.
Yeah.
I think it's next. Is it next week or the week after? I can't remember.
Next week.
And then Already Dead, which is like, I might be the only, maybe Tatum cares about it too, but like I might be the only person that cares about Already Dead. It's that third person, like kind of Resident Evil type game. It's supposed to like intentionally kind of old school looking. Yeah. During the Upload VR showcase, they were like, oh, hey, that's also coming in 2024. I was like, what do you mean it's coming in 2024? Like 2024 is almost over. So sorry, sirens on my end. So it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. We don't have that much longer to go. And over the next couple of weeks, we've got 5 more games coming. So in case anybody thought that, the Q4 rush was just about over, it's not, man. The rest of this game is going to be crazy. The rest of this month is going to be crazy.
It is wild. I mean, the question is always, where are the games? Where are the games? We keep joking about it. And it's just like, as you sort of get towards the finish line, they're just coming out with bangers.
And where aren't the game, Miles? Where aren't the games?
Yeah.
I want to exist during that time period and like take a week off. It'll be really nice. Yeah.
This is
that's
great.
Actually my goal, Miles.
I think I tweeted. I know it's not called tweets anymore, but I posted, which sounds so boring.
It's called Twitter and it's called tweets.
Yeah. I tweeted a week or two ago saying that 2025 is shaping up to be. Actually, it was when Sony did that new ad with all the games being shown. And I was like, great. 2025 is shaping up to be the best year for VR. And there were people that understandably went, well, 2024 is going to be hard to beat. And I was like, oh, no. What I mean is, like, anyone that is coming into VR, like the catalog, whether you're on MetaQuest or on PSVR2, the starting point, like, VR is the strongest it's ever looked. Mm-hmm. And yeah, okay, sure, it's going to be really hard to beat a lot of the games out this year, but there's momentum. Devs have a momentum, and I'm just super excited for 2025. But I'm not racing because we still got December to finish out, and we got Alien Rogue Incursion.
Ruthless Metal in the chat says Demio Battles is coming in 2024 too. That's cool to hear. I knew that Demio Battles was coming to PSVR too. It sort of fell off my radar. But yeah, I've been interested in giving that one a shot. JD Manning says you guys did not give a shit about our oral pleasure at the beginning of last night's show. I'm so sorry. We'll make it up to you with extra oral pleasure today. How's this doing for you, JD? Feeling pretty good about this? Is this some real deep oral pleasure? Real deep. We're getting deeper. Bah! Okay, moving on.
Jesus Christ.
Right?
That's good.
All right. Dude, I want to hear about
I can just see
Behemoth.
Someone driving their car listening to this and just like trying to keep it on the road. Yeah.
So sorry. I didn't mean it.
Or someone operating heavy machinery at work. You got to be careful. With great power comes great responsibility, Brian. I love people still typing in numbers in the chat. But guys, can we just make this a joke? For every Friday from now on, people just keep posting numbers.
Oh man, Miles, I want to hear.
Brian,
yes, I want to hear about your experience in Behemoth thus far. I didn't get to watch your stream, and I hate that because I've been busy, and I didn't even know you were streaming until you were streaming, and while you were streaming, I was busy.
To be fair, I didn't know I was streaming until I was streaming, so it's that makes two of us. Okay. Behemoth. I know you've spoken a lot about this yesterday on the show, so I'm not gonna go at lengths about a lot that you've probably already covered. But in terms of my thoughts, a little bit. I live streamed for about 2 hours 15. I played on the hardest difficulty, which I keep saying Behemoth mode, but it's not. It's Barbarian mode.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah, dude. I
want to play in Long Legs mode.
Long Legs mode. That'd be cool.
Sorry, it's
extra creepy looking Behemoth.
Ignore
yeah, but Barbarian mode is super tough, and because I like to mess about a bit, I very quickly realised I'm not going to be able to mess about on this mode. It's a one-hit kill pretty much in most battle situations. And my general feeling about the game, to summarise it after thinking about it since yesterday, was I would say it's probably a 7 out of 10 game that when they fix the issues that currently exist, I think it's going to be an excellent game. It feels that it's just not quite polished. There are some strange design decisions, and obviously that's subjective. I'll get into that in a moment. I had an amazing time playing it, and that's the most important thing. At the end of my live streams, I always go through gameplay, or go through graphics, audio, haptics, gameplay, and the gameplay piece starts with, did I have fun playing it? Because a lot of the times we play games that perhaps aren't great, but we had a blast. But Behemoth, I had an amazing time with it. Really, really good. It looks stunning, and the thing that they've nailed is scale. And it's not just about the Behemoth, that I've only seen one of them. It's amazing to be in that world and to look up and feel like, no, it really is that big, and the way it's moving, and you can go right up to it. There's no invisible wall. Like, you can stand right next to it and climb it. It's wild. But it also, the scale is the environment. When you're looking out and you're seeing mountains and like water down below, it feels real. It feels rich. It feels like there is this world out there. And it feels as though, I remember the very beginning when you're looking down, I looked down, I was like, this game could literally take me to any of these places. These all look explorable. So they've done an amazing job there. The opening scene, without going into, like, it's not really spoilery anyway, but it's like from the trailer. You're in a blizzard at the beginning of the game, and the blizzard feels rough. I don't mean that in a motion sickness way. It just feels brutal. You feel like you're pushing through it. It's hard not to put your hands up to sort of get into the mood of it. It's a really fun game. Very Dark Soulsy. I found playing it on the Barbarian difficulty, and the things they do well is what makes the things they don't do well stand out even more. And so the game looks beautiful. There was an area with foliage where the foliage was literally popping in and out constantly. That was strange. And the design choice issues I have is you can break pots, because you do that in most of these games, and there's stuff inside it. But there's a lot of boxes and barrels that you can't break. And a lot of people go, well, that's fair enough. Some stuff you can break, some stuff you can't. In VR, it's very different. In VR, you're sort of presented with, okay, these are the rules of engagement. These are the physics of this world that I'm in. And if some stuff is breakable, and then you see a little pot on a table and you're swinging a massive sword at it, and it doesn't break, yeah, it's fair enough. You go into these dark areas and you have a torch. And you and I were joking about this on Discord last night. There's two torches either side. You pick one of them up. It's a light. It's light in the way. But you pick up the other one. It's not a light. Oh no, it won't light it up. But if you drop that one then lights. And the reason they've done it is because they can't have two different sources of light at the same time. That'd be a lot of processing. To which Brian rightly said,
on Quest 2 or Quest 3, I'm sure it's struggling. But they got to have the same game across all platforms. Anyway, sorry.
Right. Yeah. No, and you joked last night, which I didn't even think about, was, well, yeah, you just have it that you only pick up one. You know, there's only one to pick up.
Right. Why even have two torches this is a single player game. You only need one torch. Only put one torch there. If you can't carry two and have them both be lit, why would you even put two there? Yeah, no, yeah. I know, man. It's weird. There's some strange design decisions, and I feel like this isn't like a seamless game, right? I think people are having a great experience with it. A lot of people are playing it and loving it and having a great time, right? But there are little things here and there that are like, okay, this didn't like 100% come together in the same way that, like, say, a Saints and Sinners game have come together, whereas like everybody's like, holy shit, this is just amazing from top to bottom. It's very, very interesting to see how this kind of the end product for Behemoth, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, what was this game a year ago? We've joked a lot about that, right? Because of the original release window was like coming, late 2023. And I think if you really like look at things in the game and you go, why is this here? You can start putting pieces together about like the game that this game was last year. You start understanding a little bit more some of the design decisions and why what happened, which is, it's a long-winded way of saying, like, we still have a great game, but there's a lot of little things that people have been pointing out going, this is interesting,
And there'll be a lot of people that understandably say you're just nitpicking. And yeah, I'm nitpicking, but it's because VR is a personal experience. You're in that world. You're living and breathing it. And so doing the small things makes a massive difference. I'll give another example. Again, Brian and I spoke about this on Discord yesterday. There's a bit where you go down a corridor and there's a beam, and you can use your grappling hook to grab it, and then you swing across this hole. But as you swing across the hole, I'm looking down, and down in this hole is like this mound. And there are some spikes around the edges, but in the middle, it's just a mound. And so I just lowered myself in thinking, cool, there might be a collectible in here. No, you just die. Like, even though you're slowly, lowering down. So as a design choice, I'd be like, well, either make it a complete drop into nothingness, or make their spikes everywhere. So clearly it's not safe to go in. So Again, these all sound really small, but it means that your overall experience is a constant sense of thinking, what am I allowed to do and what am I not able to do? You're not able to just to live in the world and think it's all going to work. You have a bow and arrow. I want to pick the arrow out my quiver out my back, and then you pull it back. And no, you just have the bow. You pull the bow, and then the arrow appears there. And then I guess the final thing I would say about just sort of initial thoughts is anyone on my channel, my Let's Play is still up there for you to check out. And obviously, I'd save this only for people that have not played the first up to the first Behemoth in the game, or don't mind being spoilt. There's a sort of a mini boss that you fight halfway through it, so it's like 1 hour 10 minutes in. Just watch it. Me take on this boss on the hardest mode. You see me get incredibly angry, and I do think actually there was some real design issues where your weapons are disappearing when they land on the floor, and it not being well. And there being issues with like being able to get out the way of certain attacks and that, which just didn't feel fun. I always bring this up. Hugo, who was the creative director of Doom Eternal, did a great documentary, or he was interviewed for a documentary about game design. I think it was in a no-clip documentary. And he says the fundamentals of good game design is when you die in a game, the player should feel that, I died because I messed up. Let's go again. Bad game design is when you die and you think, and the player feels cheated, like that shouldn't have happened and stuff like this. And there was a lot of that happening with this mini boss. I don't know if it was glitches or stuff like that, but it just wasn't fun. And the only way I got through that mini boss was because of a glitch where I felt like the boss had cheesed me again and again, and I got to cheese them back. And it's a pretty funny moment. The last thing I'll say is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. The one thing I don't like about it is the stamina system. I totally get why they've got it. It totally works for the game. So this is actually not a criticism of the game. This is just a personal preference point. The stamina in this game does not make sense at all, because I kept on like throwing a sword, and then all of a sudden it's and my character, and there's like this ice vignette all round, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is this? Was it like poison or something like that? It's like, no, throwing your sword uses stamina, which kind of makes sense. But then, like, you throw a torch or stuff, and it's like, so you're telling me that throwing that sword used up almost all your stamina, which is the same amount of stamina you use climbing a wall for like a solid minute. So there's just this disconnect, and like it feels like there's not a balancing between all the experiences. And again, if I was playing on normal or easy, a lot of this probably wouldn't bother me. But when you're playing on the hardcore mode, where like one hit kills you, it gets frustrating, especially because there's a lot of issues also with checkpoints. There were moments where I die and I got thrown back way like further back than I should have been. So yeah. So my general feedback is the criticisms come from a place that I know that Skydance Games make amazing games.
Yep.
This is a great game, just with a lot of issues. And all the issues are things that they can fix. This is not talking about overhauling the game. This is just stuff that needs optimizing and quality of life improvements, stuff that they've actually communicated to us with the review copies that they're working on. And from what I've seen with people like Tiff and those, and there was quite a few of them in my live stream, they were like, thanks for the feedback, and they are being receptive to it. And that's great, because we all love VR. We want it to do well. And this is a game that I can't wait to keep playing, but I'm also kind of excited to see how it plays in, like, I don't know, half a year time.
Yeah, when you bring up these different issues, it makes me want to jump in and be like, yeah, and blah, blah, blah. But like, you know what, like I think I got most of my thoughts out yesterday, so I don't want to like repeat the same points that I made. But like, man, yeah, I do feel like the stamina makes no sense in this game. It's supposed to be some kind of like melee power fantasy. It's just like they could have ditched it altogether, slowed down the cooldown timer for the rage mode, or whatever the fuck they're calling it, the strength mode, and yeah, and I think it would have been fine. It's important, and there's certain things that the game doesn't tell you either. Like, do you know that you're invincible when you dash?
I didn't know that. And also when you're running, you don't use stamina.
Right. So basically, when you're fighting the mini boss, and like, you know, obviously you're going to be spamming that strength meter whenever possible, and you can take it down in just a couple hits. If you do see that red glimmer, then it's like you just got to time your dash perfectly, right? And so it's like they take that swing at you, and you got to make sure that you dash, because then you're invincible for that dash. That's what they're trying to do here. That they're trying to make the Saints and Sinners engine work in an action game, a straight up action game, and it doesn't. So what they did is kind of gave you like these crazy strong abilities, like the invulnerability dash and the in the strength mode, which is like, all right. I don't think that worked perfectly, but ultimately it was one of those things where I thought a lot about it at the beginning, and the more I played, the less I thought about that, and I just sort of like was like, this is the hand that we've been dealt. So this is so I've got to play through this game with these mechanics, and this is how it is. And I think that the longer you play, the more comfortable you feel with what you've been given, and it just it does end up kind of just like feeling right and working. But it doesn't mean that there's that this is maybe like the way it should have been, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The other thing I would say also, just as a bit of context, is I went into this game like with no expectations. Like I genuinely didn't know what this game was going to be, like what kind of game it was going for. Like, is it a Dark Souls game? Is it more of a Barbaria sort of like just power fantasy? I didn't know how it was going to play, so when all these issues were coming up, it was me just taking it at face value of like, as I'm learning the controls and what the rules of engagement are. But there's a lot of cool stuff, like when you're climbing, you can kind of do this leap with it, which was great. Leap said something great in the chat actually, that rage mode should refill with combat, not with time. The parrying was cool. And that does take stamina away, and that's the kind of stuff, like if you had like a parry meter, like you take, you can't just keep parrying, like you do have to step away from it if they're constantly doing slices and stuff. But there's nothing worse that like you parry, it takes all your stamina, and now you have to run away from them, because running away doesn't use stamina, and you have to do it until you've got enough stamina to swing your weapon kind of at them or do some significant damage. So there's a lot of that going on. But like the traversal is awesome. The swinging around on the grappling hook feels amazing. The to and fro of it is really good. The sound design is fantastic. Not just the loud musical triumphs, but the slower, quieter moments are beautifully done as well.
Agreed.
And but the haptics as well, I was completely confused by. Someone was literally asking on the live stream, is their headset rumble? And I was very consciously thinking about it when fighting the Behemoth, even though it's in the commercial, it wasn't there. And actually, as soon as I started up the game, I found the first glitch, and this was after the day one patch, which was I couldn't choose standing mode. It was like the first option was, do you want to play seated or standing? I could only play seated, and it was fine. It played fine.
Well, yeah, you can't select standing mode.
No.
But when you start the game, start the game, it's like you would never, if you didn't know that you would select seated, it plays exactly like it should for a standing game, right? Like everything was in its right place, and you were the right height off the ground, right? Like it all. That's what I was confused about. It's like I was trying to select standing, and it wouldn't let me. And then I get into the game, and I was like, oh, everything's right. Okay, so that is a weird ass glitch, but like it didn't actually affect the game.
It didn't, but I definitely think that's probably why I started examining things closely than I probably would have as soon as I seen it. Because I was like, that's the first thing I've seen in the game. Like again, these things happen. And just let you know, like this is how petty I got. I was telling Brian about this last night as well. Was at the very beginning when I picked up 2 daggers. You do that thing like, can you get the sparks by hitting them together? And it was like, great, it's great.
Here I am impressed that like you're like, whoop. It makes a sound, it makes the sparks, you get the haptics.
Yeah.
And then Miles goes,
when I was looking at it, they're not actually touching. There's a massive gap between them. And I'm like, that's really immersion breaking.
You just can't please everybody. It's like right? so many games I've played, like the knives will just go right through each other, right? Like there's no collision on those. But you're like, oh, the collision isn't perfect. I'm gonna go on about this.
And I never like to. This is not pitting games against each other, but it is just going to be a direct comparison. Yeah. Behemoth did make me appreciate how good Legendary Tales combat is in terms of the weight of the weapons.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
The like Legendary Tales, and again, Swordsman VR I've always enjoyed. Legendary Tales was far superior to Swordsman VR. Like, maybe it's just my preference. I'm curious what the chat thinks. the weight of the weapons, the haptics when you strike stuff in Legendary Tales, the way weapons get caught up, and like the physicality of it, and especially when I think of how small that team is. Yeah, I did think a lot about. Look, when you're playing a game, you're going to go, well, what other games have done it? Because again, Behemoth, the combat feels great, but Legendary Tales, man, like especially against when you're fighting the big bosses and stuff. Legendary Tales, I think, is still S tier at like melee combat. I think the traversal's more interesting in Skydance's Behemoth, and they're doing much more big, ambitious things. I think it's obviously a much better looking game, and it's a AAA game. But again, those things that I say aren't quite as good. They can be fixed. They can be optimized. And if they do that, then this could end up being one of my favorite games on PSVR2.
Yeah, for sure. Is it what? I can't believe there's this conversation about blood.
Yeah, there is no blood. It's like black stuff, isn't it?
Damien in the chat is saying, "Why is the blood black and not red?" I was like, I didn't notice. I didn't even notice black blood. I played pre-day one patch and I didn't notice any blood. So I don't know what's going on there.
To be honest, yeah, maybe it's not. But I when I cut someone in half, I look and it's all just like black goo. But yeah.
I don't think it was in the game. It seemed like in the trailer at some point. So I think that's.
You're right, because isn't there a setting to turn off the blood?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of a different game? I don't know. Because I had it on. I thought I don't know.
Bro, dude, it is so weird. People in the comments were asking like, where are the pre-order weapons? And I was like, that's a good fucking question. Like maybe after the first Behemoth, they show up in the weapon room. Nope, they're in the settings. You literally have like in the settings where you adjust the difficulty, you select what weapon skins you want. And I was like, that just feels so silly. It's like, all right, I guess that's interesting, I suppose. But anyway,
can I just say one of the sickest things they've done in the game? It's like the attention to detail is like when you smash them with an axe in the head or with a sword, and the sword is like stuck in their head. You'll see them like start blinking slowly, and then their eyes just and like it's so messed up, but it's like those small attention to details, amazing. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's an interesting game, dude, because it's like I've got so much love for it, but I just feel like I don't know.
Have you seen the second Behemoth yet? Are you still
no?
You ended your
so I haven't gone back to it yet. So I've literally gone 10-15 minutes after the first Behemoth. But yeah,
I didn't really fall head over heels for Behemoth until the second Behemoth fight. I was like, man, like the stretch between the first and second Behemoth is the longest in the game. It feels like it goes on forever. Every single time someone goes, I think I'm about to fight the second Behemoth, I go, give it a couple hours. Like you think you're probably there. You're probably not there. Right. And so it just feels like it goes on forever. And it gets a little, in my book at least, a little bit tedious. And it's just like, man, this game is called Behemoth. Where the fuck are the Behemoths? And then I fought the second Behemoth and I was like, it's all good. Everything's great. You guys did what I wanted to do. It was shit right out of Shadow of the Colossus. Like it's great. It's like kind of it makes the little things that we complain about so much more excusable when you encounter the second and third Behemoth. They are magical. It's shit that we've been wanting to do in VR for years now, and they managed to pull it off. So if anyone's not to the second Behemoth yet, like
yeah,
don't. It gets better. That's all I'm going to say. It gets better. It gets real better.
I'm thinking, like, I'm really curious to see what happens when they fix the haptics, because people talking about Legendary Tales and that, and I'm thinking, what have they done right? Legendary Tales, when you strike swords together, the haptics are going wild. Like, you feel the vibration going down your hands. Like, it is strong. This game, it's not that strong. So maybe it is just a thing of, like, if they just need to, turn up.
Just turn it up. Turn it up to 11.
Turn it up, yeah.
Absolutely. Also, I didn't feel the haptics in the headset when the Behemoth stomped by. Yeah. Right. Like you feel it in the controllers, but you don't feel it in the headset. You do feel the headset haptics if you do a nice long swoop on the grappling hook. It's like that wind, like against. If you do a long one. So it's there, it's working in game, but it's not everywhere where you'd think it should be. So, again, that's maybe something else that they need to look at and make sure the headset haptics are there when the behemoths are stomping by, because it'd just be that much more impactful.
Excellent environmental puzzles. I love all the cutting of ropes and dragging stuff along. That works all really, really well. Really cool.
Yeah. Do we call them environmental puzzles? They're like block pushing puzzles. Like environmental puzzles sounds like it's a little bit more natural, right? A little bit more
That's
like,
true.
But anyway, thank you for sharing your impressions, Miles. I'm very curious to hear your further impressions for when you get to the second and third behemoths.
Don't you hate it when you give impressions on a game and it's not clear cut? Like, you just feel like, am I doing my job by not saying like it's just this or just that? Like, there's so much mixed stuff to it. Like, the way I describing this game is I have mixed feelings about this game, but it's not a mixed game. Like, it is a solid game. It's just that, and the potential.
It's sort of the downside in what we do, I think. Right, because we can't just sit here and go, it's fucking incredible, and ignore all the little things.
Yeah,
right. Because I do think overall it is fucking incredible. I think that's probably words I would not use. I think it's a great experience. But yeah, I think if you're going to talk about a game in depth and be critical about it and be thorough, then yeah, you gotta talk about the little things. It's important. Yeah. Miles, Julian Fricker with another £2 says, "Hey Miles, I'm in South Wales. You ready for storms? You guys getting some storms? What's happening?"
Yeah, there is a big storm coming. I actually just saw on the news just before. I don't know much about it. Oh yeah, people have been getting like storm alerts on their phone. You know, where you get the scary noise. I don't know what the scary noise is, but Storm Dara is coming.
Storm Dara,
It is in place from 3 a.m. till 11 a.m. So we got like a couple of hours until it hits. It's all on the west coast, so it won't be where I am. But yeah, anyone in Wales, anyone that's at risk, be safe, please. Be safe
and sleep in, so that when you can it'll all be over when you wake up.
Play VR.
There you go.
Oh my! Dan Key says, "I'm in South Wales too. My chimney is pissing water." Oh,
I just saw that. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Scott, the PSVR Game Cap for Life with the level 1 membership says, "Brian Paul lies to us all." You heard it here first. DJ Dirty Yellow with the $5 tip says, "You didn't hear it from me, but the hand tracking game is a game for a new PSVR2 Worlds demo. Also possibly included in a new PlayStation Home." I didn't hear from you. I didn't hear from anybody.
They made me drunk.
Also pretty sure I'm not going to hear from anybody. DJ Dirty Yellow. Oh, shit. This keeps happening. Roy Martini with the level 1 membership says, "Sony rewards peeps. Check points. They end soon." Good point. There was, I don't know if it's still available, but you're able to get like a $10 gift card with the points, and then what the fuck was it? Oh, the amount that would give you a $10 gift card, you're able to spend on Phasmophobia, which is a $20 game, and so like you're actually getting Phasma for like half price. I don't know if that deal's still going, but I saw a lot of people talking about it. So,
Dude, I've just seen the most awesome thing. Can I just say, Zen Gamer Max has just tweeted saying, "Spending this cold night outside watching PSVR without Parole." Like, I've just sent you the link on Discord. I don't know if you can see the video, maybe not, but like, it is amazing. He's like got us on the big screen in his garden with a big fire and the laptop. Was it a projector even? It's so surreal, man, when you see how people consume our show. It's amazing.
Hold on, this is.
I promise it's not. I can hear the rain outside. It is heavy.
Oh shit, man! Look at this. That is so crazy.
Isn't it?
That is so crazy. Thanks, Zen Gamer Max. That's so
it is
cool.
super cool. Yeah.
So wait, is this from tonight? So eventually, what the conversation we're having right now, showing him
will be on there.
Wow.
So,
Pretty
guys,
crazy.
when you're typing in numbers, you're filling his garden with just random numbers. Think about that.
Pretty nuts, so. Miles, I have to do something really strange, and I have to go to the hold screen. I have to go to the thumbnail.
Okay.
Real quick here. They should still be able to hear you, obviously. Although after last night, nothing is guaranteed. Miles, real quick, while I'm doing this thing with the thumbnail up, Waleed is now a game cat, specifically a white tiger with a level 1 membership, says, Cat Way Woo. What first party IP would sell PSVR2s? What do you think?
Okay. You want me to just do improv grouping?
Totally improv. And, yeah.
All right.
I got to do something over here real quick.
All good. For me, it's just going to be The Last of Us. I've always said it, and it's one of those things of when you say the obvious thing, you feel like you're giving an easy answer. The Last of Us, I've always said, is a system seller. It would absolutely blow up, and there would be people that go, I want to experience this in VR. Naughty Dog to step into the VR space. I think that, Uncharted would be good and people would like it and actually would probably do pretty good. But I just think The Last of Us is something else. I think the demographic that The Last of Us appeals to, obviously a much more mature audience overall, I think that ties in with the kind of people that are going to have the disposable income to, jump into the VR world as well. Yeah. For me, it's The Last of Us. Simple as.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair.
But just for balance, Leo AI in the chat says The Last of Us is overrated crap, so maybe not.
Yeah. Well, the first one was. The second one was fucking gold. Absolute gold. Brilliance in storytelling. Daring, even.
Yeah.
Just trying to trigger people who didn't like it. So there. I didn't play it, so just tell me to go fuck off and I will. All right, Miles, I'm done doing the thing I had to do.
All right, man.
You ready to do a little 4-minute challenge? Wrap this thing up?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm choosing, yeah?
Yeah.
You are. What the notes say? Yeah, let me just quickly choose a game quickly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, then while you're doing that, I'm going to say, listen, I need Horizon was one of the best-selling first-party games there for a while. Like Horizon Zero Dawn. I need a proper Horizon game in VR, right? I think Call of the Mountain gives a nice taste of the Horizon world. There's a lot of climbing, and I think that maybe I want a full-fledged game with all the upgrades, just the whole world, the open world, everything. I want, and it doesn't, honestly, it can be Zero Dawn, or it can be Forbidden West. I just need those games in VR. Why do you look like you're giggling over there? Why do you look like you're going to pull one over on me? What is happening right now? I
look at certain games like, that'd be a fun one to do, and but then I'm like, nah, don't know. I think we're good, man. I think we're good. I think I've got one.
All right, cool. Well, then I'm going to put up the 4-minute clock on the screen. I'm going to need your help, guys, in the chat. DTV Pod says that sure was accurate for someone that didn't play it. Yeah, probably. Okay, here we go. We got 4 minutes, you guys. Miles has picked out a PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game. We have 4 minutes, infinite number of yes or no questions, but only 4 minutes to do it in. Let's fucking go. Bam. Okay. Standard questions. Is this on PSVR 1?
No.
Okay. Is it PSVR 2 exclusive?
No.
Okay. Multiplayer? Is there a multiplayer option? Can you play multiplayer?
No.
Okay, single player only. Has this developer made other PSVR 2 games?
No.
Okay. Did they make any PSVR 1 games to your knowledge?
No.
Okay. Isn't going well. Is it horror?
No.
Is there combat?
No.
Is puzzles?
Like there are puzzles in it, but like so rare. Don't think of it as a puzzle game.
Is it like an experience, more an experience than a game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're definitely kind of more of an experience than a game. Single player, no combat. So no shooting, no melee, no nothing. This is trying to think of experiences on PSVR 2. Wow, I'm gonna go with Looper. Is this game come out this year? 2024
good
game?
question. It came out. Sorry. Does it say on the PlayStation Store when it comes out? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
No, it didn't.
All right, so it's definitely not a utility room.
Does it use any numbers in the chat?
Right. Wes is trying to help me out. Does it use eye tracking? Can you blink?
I don't think so.
So no before your eyes. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so it didn't come out at launch. Is it realistic? Does it look realistic? Graphics, environments?
Nah.
No. Okay. Is it based on any kind of like existing IP?
No.
Okay. Do you like it? Is it good?
I like it.
Okay.
Is it good? Jury's out. I don't think you'd like it.
You don't think I'd like it? Did I review it?
No.
Okay. Is it a visual novel? Like, do they like? Is it a lot of just read?
Nah.
Is it? No. Okay.
Nah.
Okay. Is it educational? It's a good question.
Yeah, a little bit, but I wouldn't. Yeah, I guess so, but not. You're not learning to read or do math.
Okay, so no reading world or math world. That takes care of that. Is it a sim type game? Like you build in cities, that kind of thing?
No.
Okay, no. Chrome Class says, "Is there photography?"
No.
Are you?
But you can upload your photos to it.
Are you learning a skill?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Are you coloring within the lines? Like, is that kind of what you do?
Nah.
Okay, so it's not. So it's not you calligrapher.
Matthew, is it sandwich hands? Be honest, Miles. No, it's not. It's not out yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, we're running out of things here. You're not looking for Sherlock Holmes in this game, are you?
No, you're not.
No.
I think I did that one a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so. Oh God. Okay. Is it? I'm out of time. Is it? Umurangi Generation?
No.
What is it, Miles? Tell me.
It is, Brian. Trip, a new way to meditate.
Oh, you could have given me fucking all day to get this one. I would not have gotten it. That is insanity.
Yeah. Currently on sale for £57.99, which is like $70 probably.
Men's
it's
Health.
It's not on PSVR. I think it's PS5 only. Leaper.
I thought Trip was on PSVR 1 as well. No.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Listen, I wasn't going to get it either way, so that
Hippie Pickle was on it. Hippie Pickle did get it right, so well done, Hippie Pickle.
Good job.
Do I like it? Yeah, I did like it. I haven't gone back to it, but I really appreciate what they've done, and they've. I actually interviewed their creator, who I found out afterwards is Keanu Reeves' cousin, which was wild. Yeah.
Bro, who's just out there like being like, oh, my cousin is Bob Hope, and like who's just like my cousin? Like what? How did you learn that? Like how does that come up in conversation?
Her name is Nanea Reeves, and her accent, like cousins doesn't necessarily mean, but like straight away I'm just like I can totally see it. But it was because when I was researching about her before I interviewed her on my show, I just saw you put in Google and you see Keanu Reeves, and I click it and it's them together. And then, but then I didn't even click it then, and then it was afterwards it sort of came to mind. So yeah. Okay, so it is on PSVR 1. All right. Well, I'm sorry I got that, because obviously Brian would have got it if I'd said that.
Clearly,
bit, so,
yeah. That was what threw me off right from the get go. There's no way. Yeah. Funky
yeah, like
says the Trip sequel's called Trippin' Balls.
Trippin' Balls.
Trippin' Balls.
Triple Balls.
Good stuff. Oh man. All right. Guys, we got to get out of here. Let's just make sure we don't miss any tips here. We do.
And actually, can I just say, on fairness to Trip, although it is quite an expensive price, it is the price. The price is in place of a subscription. Like if you get on other platforms, you have to pay a yearly amount. This is like a one-time fee. So actually, if it's something for you, it's really cool. And the thing I mentioned about photos is in some of the meditation exercises, there's one where you do a little puzzle in the middle of it, but there's somewhere when you get to the end, there are all these like baubles around the side with photos, and like they're like of animals and that, but you can via the app upload photos of friends and family and people that make you happy, or maybe PSVR2 games. So when you get to the end of it, you just see all these images that you really like. So there's some cool interactive stuff there. Yeah.
I hate everything you're saying. This just sounds awful.
This is why I'm here, Brian. The yin and the yang. Yin and the yang.
That's right. Okay, we got to get out of here. Damien, real quick, sent us $2, and then also followed it up with another $2 and said, what's the deal with the black blood in Behemoth? Well, fortunately for you, we had that conversation, and we had it because of you. So I don't know if you're just behind the stream a little bit, but hopefully you're caught up now. It's not something I noticed. I got to say that it's not something I noticed. I was happy being able to slice somebody in half. I didn't need a ton of gore to go along with it. But now that it's been brought to my attention, when I go back and go work on the review, it's something I'm going to be paying more attention to. Very interesting. So, thanks for being here, Miles. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. Friday.
Thanks for having me, dude. Always a privilege to be here with you and the amazing community. Love it.
Everybody, make sure you go subscribe to Miles, youtube.com/Miles, one of the easiest YouTube URLs in history. Or you can click the link in the description. Go check out his live stream of Behemoth. Get caught up with what he's doing over there on the channel.
I'll be live streaming a lot over the festive season once I get some time off. I'm going to try and put a dent in my list of. I've got a lot of PSVR2 games I've not live streamed yet, and I'm determined to get on top of it. So join me on that.
Well, I've been waiting for blinds to show up forever because I can't, with the sun coming in, I can't do shit until the sun goes down, and so I've been waiting to get blinds. Just found out today that they got delayed. They were supposed to be here the last week in November. They got delayed to the last week in December. So apparently delays are not just game related around here. It's just fucking everything. Next thing you know, they're gonna be like, Q1 2025. It's like, fuck you. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Everybody who helps this channel run. All my moderators are incredible. We love you, not just over here, but over on Discord. Rypop, getting this thing up on audio services, podcast services of your choice. We got Sci-Fi Game Cat. Oh my God, I still do this. Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry. I'm going to say it till the end of fucking time. Rhodey, the Game Cat Army General, and Waleed, both doing timestamps. Thank you guys for that. We appreciate it. Everybody who supports us financially over on patreon.com/withoutprogames, everyone who's a member over here, everyone who tips during the show, thank you very much. You're keeping the light on. There's only one, but it's on. We appreciate it. It also keeps the computer on. That helps. The internet's on. We need all these things on. So thank you guys so very much. But we also appreciate just showing up, you guys, being here, being part of the conversation. It's awesome. But we also know there's a whole nother group of people out there who sit back and watch the show and don't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Here it is, Miles. Clip of the week from More Seek, the Game Cat. Let's go. It's gigantic. We got to do this again. I can't see anything, Miles. It's gigantic. Hold on, I'm shrinking it down. They can still see us because we're hiding behind the... Hey, guys. Hey, guys. We're going to try that again because it's gigantic. This is what I was trying to do. Miles, when I earlier. See if we can't watch that one again. Here we go. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to watch that on over on Discord. I just downloaded the first clip of the week that I saw, and I didn't hear the sound when we were just watching it. So, but it looks like the chat is liking it, I think. So hopefully it was a good one. These are the kind of things I need to prepare before the show, and I always forget every Friday that there's a clip of the week. But if you guys want to submit your clip of the week, maybe we'll get it in next week's show. Make sure you submit it over there on the Clip of the Week channel in Discord. What are you doing, Miles? You going to bed tonight? Are you staying up and watching Lost? What are you up to?
Oh, that's a good question. I literally just finished season 3 of Lost, and dude, there's some lines in that show that just really hit you. Like the writing and acting in it is so good. Like really gets you in the feels. Yeah, for those that don't know, been cruising through Lost again. I love that show. Can't believe it's 20 years old now. God, it's genuinely looking at interviews with like the cast. And they were young when they were on Lost, Yeah. Like and seeing it just makes me realise life is flying by. But having a good time. So yeah, I might watch an episode of Lost before bed. Yeah, I'm pretty knackered, as we say in the
UK. Nick Mueller told me I should watch Penguin on HBO Max. Have you?
Oh yeah, I hear that's meant to be amazing. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, my relationship with penguins is complicated.
Yeah. I figured maybe I was bringing that up to the wrong person, but maybe this could help heal the wounds, right? I mean, like this is like therapy, exposure therapy, right?
Yeah, it's true. I like that.
But that's it's interesting because it's a mini series, and so everyone's saying how good it is, but it sounds like it could very well just be one season, and that's the end of it. So I want to check it out. I have 2 days left in my HBO Max subscription, and then it's canceled. So I'm like, maybe for the next 2 days, like this, I'll just fucking marathon it, and I can get it out of the way. But we'll see what happens. I'm very, very curious about it. So, oh, there you go. Matthew Scatterly in the chat says Penguin is fantastic. Thank you for the Also, maybe it's Scatter T. I'm sorry, my vision's going. It's all the VR. I'm blaming it on VR. Happy Friday, Miles.
Happy Friday, Brian. Bye.